This is Nadia.
This is Sandra.
She's kundalini teacher and tantra teacher and many, many, many things next to that. It's better that you do it. Introduce yourself, please.
Yes, and also to not be as elaborate because,
Yeah.
yes, I'm famous for becoming like this big storyteller, and then we have 3 hours already.
That's how we started this whole project, actually. Yeah.
Exactly.
She was messaging me so much that I thought like, oh, actually back and forth, huh?
We were.
It was like stories about dance, especially the stuff that actually connected us first. When we first met, it was in a dance class, huh?
It was.
So all these stories about you getting into the dance and having all these experiences and sharing with me, and of course I was a little bit longer in that scene, so I really look forward to your messages because nobody actually talked about dance in this way like you did. And I'm always been like that, very, very interested in dance and very interested in how you're feeling, you know, what are the experiences when you're dancing, what are the experiences with all these dance partners, and more deeper, like energy, on an energy level, the stuff that you're doing, kundalini, tantra, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really love these stories from you, and I thought like let's just do the podcast because I think you said like, here comes a Nadia podcast again, something like that, on WhatsApp, and then I thought like, oh, let's just do it and then just talk about it, but talk about our passion and talk about our like what's keeping us busy when we're dancing, because that's our passion amongst others, of course.
It is, for sure, yes.
So you want to say something more about yourself, like what you're doing?
Well, in this moment, I'm really focusing about Kundalini yoga coaching and more into groups and workshops and how to make a combination out of dance and yoga. Because for me, those are two of my passions that I discovered. When I discovered Kundalini yoga, it was so recent. It is just like 5 years ago when I took my first class.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I recognize this. My body recognizes these exercises. This is the energy I always work with, and I didn't have a name for it. And I knew my body like that. I was not having any idea where it came from. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. I was always like, okay, it's something different that I tap into, and I have no idea how it works. I just know that it works. And then the exercises came and the asanas, and I was like, this is it. And then with the breathing, you feel so much recognition, and also mantra singing, because for me, I always had with my voice the difficulties, and I'm like, I can't sing, I can't hold a tune, no way. And then you're in this group and you feel the energy together and you sing together, and something beautiful appears, and that's like super high vibes.
Yeah.
It's so warm in sharing.
And it frees also something in you as well, as
it
as
frees.
Experience. Yes.
Yes, it's so freeing, and especially for your voice, but everything within your body. And sometimes you notice, like within the mantra, for me, what's very interesting is you have different types of mantras, and in Kundalini Yoga, most are in Gurmukhi, so that's the language of the Kundalini, and then we have these mantras that resonate within your brain. And you use your palate, you use the tip of your tongue, and even if you don't sing with, you are going to experience it. It's so beautiful.
It's gonna be a whole journey with you through all the themes that we're going to have within the podcast. So we're gonna come back and forth to all these energy, we call it energy work, but it's actually working with your own body and your mind to get to new discoveries of your own self in different ways.
Insights of healing yourself, every knowledge you have inside of you. So when we started today, it was Om Namo Guru Dev Namo, and that's already honoring your teacher within, honoring the teacher that we are the guru within us. We are our own guru, we are our own teacher, and sometimes we forget about it. We look outside, we are like, there is the answer, there is the answer. Love within us. No, I want to receive love from the outside.
Yes.
Because that's the access.
Love,
and the thing is, all that we get from the outside, even when we fall in love, we realize we're falling in love with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We realize what we are actually longing for. When I fall in love and I'm like, oh, I'm planning all different types of things. I want to do this, that, and I'm super high. And then I'm like, it's actually knowledge for myself. This is what I want to do. I'm into that. And actually, it doesn't even matter if he wants it. It's about me. It's about realizing where my needs are, where my longings are.
You
where
learn
my
more
true
about
desires.
yourself. That's
Sure.
what I call other people a mirror for yourself.
It
Yeah,
is.
you find out more about yourself at the end.
It is a mirror.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to get these beautiful stories of yours and like more, let's say, specific exercises and tricks and tips that we can get also to apply during the dance or before we get into the dance, like how to tune ourselves in towards the person that we're gonna dance with, or also a little bit towards ourselves. First, like replenish our own energy before we step into that world of social dancing. So thank you for this beautiful story. I'm gonna say something about myself as well, so that people know who I am a little bit. Why am I rambling so much about dancing? So I was a little kid when I started dancing already in like Latin American dances, and just like a couple of months, because I was in a city in Bosnia. There was no like big schools or ballet classes or anything, but there was definitely this need and longing for dancing. So at one point there were some people who came to give us class in a basic school, like elementary school, and I was actually, because there were no boys, I had to be a boy. I had to be the leader. I realize that now, so that's super funny, because now at this point again I'm picking up on salsa, and after all these years of not dancing and I'm starting to learn leading, finally how it's supposed to be. And last time we danced together, so it was really beautiful to see. So it started really early for me, but then I didn't do anything because, I don't know, some other stuff like music came into my life, and I dedicated more time to that and science. And then now, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, I did Cuban salsa course for a while, and then I stopped again because I didn't like the scene. And that's something that we're gonna get into in the next podcast episodes. We're gonna get more into like why. But just to describe a little bit this journey, like last year I came to Haarlem because I discovered there is this beautiful afro class, and I was very surprised by the teacher, who was very, very dedicated and very, very good teacher and dancer as well, Julian. And this was a group where actually I met Nadia. And little by little we became friends. We stayed every Friday at the school and we discussed dance. We were obsessed. We were just talking about dance and dance teachers, and then she started going to dance classes and discovered this whole scene.
I did. Yes.
Zumba, no, not Zumba, kizomba, salsa, bachata.
Yes.
And
all the variations
all the
already
variations
within.
Yes. And what I also do in my life now at this moment, I'm a piano teacher and music teacher, and I also love to look at the dance from that perspective. So we're gonna have also an episode on musicality in dance and talk more about that as well. So that's a little bit about me. But you're gonna get to know me much better throughout the whole series, and Nadia as well.
We also want to introduce some guest speakers, some people who influence us, some people who we have good contact with, who we feel safe with, and
yes, we want to have guest speakers who are teachers, dance teachers, or musicality teachers, or music teachers, or choreographers, or people dealing with energy work, or like everything that has. Actually, this podcast should be kind of like holistic dance podcast or something like that.
With it and connection.
And connection with other people.
Yes.
With ourselves and also outside the world. So some themes that we wanted to explore were like social dancing scene in the Netherlands, a connection in dance. What makes one a great dance partner?
Yes.
That's something that we discuss a lot.
Actually,
and it's very, very interesting subject. Also, I mean, throughout all this journey, we are learning a lot about ourselves, like how we can become better
Dance
better
partners.
dance partner, better human in that way, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like about self-development
It
in
is.
that sense. But also like how better to understand your partner, how to
Exactly.
have empathy for them.
Empathy, compassion, and also to bring up subjects. Because sometimes we run into certain things, or sometimes you don't feel the connection, and you're like, how is it even possible? I had this with one of the dance teachers,
Yeah.
and I was like, you're a dance teacher, you know how to make connection. I'm a kundalini yoga teacher, I'm coaching, I come from a psychology background. How is it even possible that connection on the dance floor, it just disappears? We become like stiff and woody and everything. And he was so grateful that I brought the subject up. He was
Yeah.
like, thank you for this, I want to work with you on this. And then we started to do different types of exercises, and he's actually also more open to it. That's
Yes,
one of the
yes,
comments
that's great.
that I didn't expect on the dance floor, and especially also the kizomba scene really surprised me in that way, because I heard a lot of other negative rumors, and for me that totally hasn't been the case. So for me that's really interesting.
That's
also to do
amazing,
some
yes.
more research, and then I also discovered it's changing. There is already a different stream.
Yes, I agree with you. Like 15 years ago, when I started this Cuban salsa lessons, I discovered that it's very rough. People are really rough, and they're throwing you all around the room, kind of when they're dancing with you. And that was one of the reasons I stopped with it, and I haven't danced for 15 years until last year when we
Yes.
started again. I went out of the salsa scene entirely because I was feeling I was like I'm being demolished here. My body is being
They don't feel that I'm a human
I'm not
being.
a human being. Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, you also have to have some knowledge of anatomy
Exactly.
to be able to. But definitely, like if I know how this feels to me on my body, I will also be able to reproduce it on your body easily.
Exactly.
Much easier. If I don't have connection with myself and I don't know how this feels and what this means, then for me, then I will also not be able to apply to you. But indeed, what you just said, like time changed in these 15-20 years that have gone by, things changed. Guys who are mostly leaders changed, and to the better.
Yeah.
And I'm also surprised.
Okay.
That's what I'm like dancing these days,
Yes.
very happily. In the dancing scene in the Netherlands, where we're from. By the way, did we mention that we're from the Netherlands? Not entirely. Okay, so we are from the Netherlands.
Yay, in Haarlem in the moment.
Very beautiful city. We're gonna show you some spectacular images of
Spots.
that.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
And do some exercises outside as well.
Oh yeah, this is one that I really think it's very, very important. What does breath has to do with dancing? I think we're gonna get into that, dig into that deeply, and discover some new stuff.
For me,
very,
that was
very
the eye
interesting.
opener.
But don't say it immediately now. Don't
But for
spoil
me,
it.
it was the eye opener.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
how much more connection do I want to feel and hear about dancing?
Yeah.
And when I discovered how important breath is and sharing breathing together, they actually do breath work together.
Yeah.
It is already a tantric movement.
Yeah. Yes.
And they don't want to hear anything about it. They feel
Yeah. Tantra has
it's very different.
Unfortunately, Tantra has this weird connotation
Yes.
in this time or world or whatever, because some things happened in the past in this, like saying it's Tantra but it's something else.
Exactly.
So it just got polluted. The word got polluted.
Confused
Yes,
with other
but there,
things.
yeah. And I think the way you're teaching it, it's something else, and other people, other teacher will teach it. So it's really, you have to be open for this kind of stuff, and really look per teacher, like what's going on and what are they preaching. Yeah.
And especially that within yourself, it all starts within yourself, without anything or anyone else.
Exactly.
About getting self-knowledge.
Yes.
And that's the beautiful part about it.
Yes. So we're gonna get into Tantra during exploring all these different themes. We will also have representations of or people representing their own school, huh?
Yes.
Or and telling us more about the way they're teaching and they build their classes and their mission, that kind of stuff. And also, we will talk about venues in the Netherlands and different social parties for dancing that we think are very nice to check them out.
Yes, and we also have the exercises for better partner connection
Mhm.
and connection within yourself. So, a lot of the times when I teach in the evening, especially when I teach in the evening, people have a lot of things that go on from the day, and it's very difficult to get out of your head, be in your yoga space, on your mat, not get distracted, not be talking to everyone, or not like in your brain already, oh, why am I not watching Netflix? What am I doing here? No, everything that's going on, and also the conversations of the whole day, the stress that build up inside your body. And that stress release moment, one of the exercises I have is like when you can feel like you're standing like a tree again. And also, one of the things we do is like we pound on our body. We really make
Tap.
this movement, the tapping movement, on your whole body, and you make it bigger and a bit louder. And
To
to
get
make
yourself into the body.
yes, exactly. So, for example, for me, it was such a surprise when that dance teacher I told you about and I couldn't get along or we were like not having the connection.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Do I have your permission to do and try out everything?" And I was like, "Yes, within my yoga, I'm open for it. So let's see what we can do on the dance floor."
Mm-hmm.
And at first we started with touching fingers and moving around like that and dancing in a different way, also without touching each other, just feeling each other's energy and coming nearer and a bit closer and a bit further away, just to have more sense of who are you and where does your energy start. And for me that was already a surprise that a teacher who has no connection at all with yoga
Mm-hmm.
and he's open to these types of techniques. So apparently in the dance scene it's already a bit of normal thing, but they don't use the same words, just different words.
Yes.
And then the second time we saw each other again, and he was teaching, and after the teaching, we had this social party, and we were both at the same party. And he was like, then asked me the question, "Do I have your permission to try out everything?" And he started tapping me after I said yes, of course. And he started tapping me, and I was like, really? This is interesting. I never expected this to happen on the dance floor. And I loved it because I had so much stress inside my body, and that someone else was capable of reading me in that moment. Like, I know you can dance, I know you can do better than this, and I know that you will relax more into it, and I want you to feel that way. And he just everywhere.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he was like, "Okay, now we're going to breathe together." So he pulled me in closer and we could feel each other's bellies. And I could breathe within him and he could breathe within me. And our bellies just moved together and we became more tranquil. And you can almost feel your heartbeat together in that moment. And you relax and you make that connection. You sink deeper into each other.
Yes.
And at some point he felt more relaxation. And there was this type of kizomba music, and you have douceur. You move within the music, your breath. And it's a different type of breathing. It's not as relaxed as it sounds because you really make your movement as the beat of the music goes. So sometimes it's like super high, sometimes it's like super low.
Yeah, it's like micro movements.
It's micro movements.
Yes.
It goes quicker. It goes within. Well, sometimes against what you really want. So it's also challenging. And then all of a sudden, poof, 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 we were moving all around the dance floor. And I don't know, I even did some steps that I never did before, but I could follow his leading. I could trust him within the flow. And I was like, what am I doing? Okay, don't think, just follow. Close your eyes a bit. Close your eyes a bit longer. And I could follow him everywhere. And I was like, this is such an amazing feeling. And I was so grateful that I could have that experience. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's just what I want to share.
Yes, that's exactly what the connection is about. That you can really get into this flow state and feel the other person micro movements. I think for me that's like the cherry on the top of the cake
Exactly.
of dancing. Yeah, like that's like the best thing to experience.
It is.
To get so close to each other and tune in, so fine tune into each other so much that you can feel these little movements in somebody's body and just follow them and mirror them, or actually move together within the dance. That's the most beautiful thing, and that's what we're going for, and that's actually kind of for us very interesting to explore. While we're busy with it, we're gonna share it with everybody else and hopefully have these beautiful people coming and gezondheid, sharing this with us as guest speakers as well.
Yes.
So let's wrap it up. I think we have to run to our afro class. So
we're going to learn some more new steps.
We're gonna learn new steps, but also we want to invite you to join us in our journey.
Yes.
Within the dance, and we hope we can take you to the new places that you've never been before.
The new parties, the new events.
Yes, and the journey within.
The journey within.
Within. And discuss really these very important subjects, I think, for every dancer. And every dancer who loves dance, I think, will at one point in their journey come to know that these are very important parts of the dance. So thank you for watching. I'm Sandra, this is Nadia, and see you next time.
Love.
Bye-bye.
Love.